Well, the Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley continues here on the NCWLIFE Channel, and thankfully, I know they're busy people right now, but we've got the athletic directors for Cashmere, Eastmont, and Wenatchee High Schools joining us. We've got Jeff Carlson, we've got Russ Waterman, we've got Jim Beeson. I know we just got things going, thankfully. Let's hear it for that, first of all. How was last weekend? We had Jamboree, we had soccer, we had volleyball. How did everything go? Jeff, I'll start with you. We'll do it alphabetically. So Cashmere first.
All right. Yeah, we hosted volleyball on Saturday. We had 3 teams. Things went really well. We had Moses Lake and OMAC in our gym, varsity and sub-varsity. We started action at 10 a.m. and we were out of the gym a little after 9 p.m. So it was a long day, but man, to see the look on those girls' faces to finally be competing, it was pretty special. So yeah, we move forward this week with girls soccer. We got 2 matches at home, and then we're going to do the 3-team volleyball again on Saturday. Our football team will be on the road on Friday, but all in all, it was great. We didn't allow spectators to our volleyball matches on Saturday because we're kind of in a phased-in approach, wanted to see how that would work. But we're excited for this week. We're going to start allowing limited spectators. Family of the athletes will be able to attend. We're trying to give 2 tickets to each rostered athlete starting at tomorrow's girls soccer game. So we're moving forward with that and excited to get the parents to be able to watch their athletes compete.
Sometimes that's a little tough because the venues where the activities are happening are not fenced off necessarily. How are you going to tackle that, Jeff?
Well, we're going to do our best. We're going to put up some flags for our soccer stadium, have 1 entry point, have an station set up as well. So we're going to do our best, man. We're just doing things on the fly, trying to do our best to try to accommodate spectators. And so, we'll see how it goes on Tuesday. We got another home game on Thursday. If we need to make any adjustments, we'll do it.
Well, that sounds good. Let's go to Eastmont and Russ. I know you had a busy weekend. It's been a busy week, just getting everybody back to practice and shoveling snow. And what a difference a week makes, huh?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, like we were saying, the weather's cooperating. And Jeff mentioned earlier, on a traditional year, today's the first day of spring sports. And we're thinking about football and soccer and volleyball and all those good things. And they're all great thoughts. And I can only echo what Jeff said. It's just incredible. It started for us, we hosted three teams with ourselves and Wenatchee and Chelan Saturday for volleyball. So we were here really early, 7 o'clock in the morning, setting up. And so it was great to see our cross country team getting ready to go and get on the bus to go to WUWV and run, and then followed by the girls soccer team. We're traveling over to Wenatchee, and we had pictures for football team. So they were in the gym not the gym, but the commons getting pictures, and volleyball players there. It felt good. It felt real. It felt normal. We're all used to that chaos of game day. And then again, just watching every level from D team to varsity and volleyball, the kids competing and doing their doggonedest to stay with the COVID protocols that we have and everything else. And overall, it's just a good day. I say, it beats the alternative. We're blessed enough that we have this NFHS network, which is working for us right now. It's not optimal. It's not perfect, but it's better than not being able to see the kids at all with no fans, kind of where we are right now. And we look forward to this week. I mean, we're getting things really rolling this week. Our girls soccer team will travel to Ephrata. Tuesday, they'll host Moses Lake on Saturday, and that's going to be our rollout day. We're gonna let our spectators come in. We've got a little bigger capacity than Jeff has for a stadium, so we're going to go with 4 tickets per rostered player, so we can cover a little bit of that extended family. If we have a split family, that we can make that available. We'll have social distancing in the stands. We'll have markers where we want people to be. We've gone with Ticket Spicket for digital online ticketing. We're going to roll that out and see how that works for us. And then hopefully, as we get through that step, we'll be opening up for, ultimately we'd like to be able to say for that Wenatchee football game the week after that we'd allow some spectators in again per rostered player. We're not quite there to open it up for our community yet. We just don't have that to manage. We want to take very, very small steps, make sure that all of our protocols are in place, that we're safe our athletes, for the officials, and our community.
Well, other than the masks on the faces, no difference in what happened with girls soccer. I mean, they pick it up right where they left off with that rivalry between Eastmont and Wenatchee goes into a PK shootout. Jim, talk about how things are for the Wenatchee side of the world, and as you got through the first weekend and now you prepare for week 2.
I mean, it's just controlled chaos is basically back to our life as normal for all of us. I mean, we started with pictures at 6:30 and in the morning on Saturday, and started with cross country because they left at 7:30 to go to Royal City, and just went on. Pictures went till 3 o'clock, and we had the girls soccer matches, which we had a minor snafu on my part. I programmed our cameras to go off at 4, and that's just about the time the penalty kick started. So I learned my lesson there. I screwed up, and I just got to learn from it and move on. But it was great to see everybody out and following all the protocols and doing what we asked of them to do. We aren't planning yet to have spectators come in. I did have, as opposed to hiring workers, I had our senior parents come in and do some of the things that I would normally have workers do. And so a lot of our senior parents got in, and we'll rotate that through our senior parents to get them an opportunity to come in and watch. The football jamboree after the soccer, I would say football's got a little bit more room for improvement overall. You just making sure we're following all of our protocols and everybody's wearing masks. It'll be the harder one, I think, of all the sports, to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Some of it, I think, is we watch too much TV too, and you see all the NFL guys always pulling their masks down and talking to the referees and whatever, and it's hard to break our coaches of some of those types of habits. But overall, the weekend happened, and there wasn't a whole lot of complaints afterwards. I think everybody was just focused on the fact that our kids got a chance to participate, and it's been well over a year since we've been looking forward to this day. And I just keep reminding everybody that all of the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, all the NCAAs, I mean, they all started off with no fans, and some of them still don't have fans, and they have much bigger venues and much more resources available to them than what we have. So just please bear with us as we get through this, and just focus on the kids, and we want to finish what we start. That's kind of been our mantra since we've gotten going, is just make sure we finish what we start and don't have COVID creep its ugly head up in the middle of all this.
Well, and let's talk about that real quick. Obviously, number one for you guys is keeping the kids safe and your athletes safe. It might be different per school as far as size and things like that. Are we testing our athletes? Are we just doing that survey where they're talking about, if they've been around it and been around anybody sick? How's this going? Jeff, first start with how things are working in that regard for Cashmere.
Yeah, we don't have those type of resources that you see at the major Division I level or at the professional level. So we don't have the ability to test our athletes. We're just doing the daily attestation with both our coaches and our athletes. Asking them each and every day if they've been around anyone with COVID, do they have any COVID symptoms, doing temperature checks in the morning. Those kids, as they enter our building, we're in hybrid learning right now. They fill out the attestation every morning before they enter our buildings. So that's basically how we're being in compliant with attestation.
Okay, so Russ, how are things working at Eastmont? Kind of the same way?
Yeah, I think I believe that this Washington State, and this goes to the work of WIA working with DOH and the governor's office, I think was ahead of the curve in a lot of the country in regard to attestation. When you look at what the CDC rolled out a few weeks back, we've already been doing that since August. All of our schools asking those critical questions about, any COVID-like symptoms. Have you been around any COVID exposures? Those kind of things, coaches and everybody else. We've added to that the officials. So now as officials come to our site, we have an online attestation that we ask them to do on a Google Doc. All of our workers, if they're not school district employees, will do that attestation. So again, we do it for contact tracing also. So if we do have a positive case or we have an exposure, we have that list of people that may or may not have come into contact with that. So we'll help the DOH out in Chelan, Douglas County Health in regard to their contact tracing. We looked at testing. There's some things that are out there that we can get with rapid tests, but in talking with a couple of ADs around the state, especially Woodinville, it really becomes a burdensome logistic, because what if your tests don't come back in time? Then you just lost that group, a pod of testers. And so then they miss that contest. And if that's your coaching staff, you've missed every level. So there's a lot of double-edged sword there with that testing. And again, like Jeff alluded to, we don't have the manpower and the resources that a D1 college or an NFL team or a pro team has to do all that. So we're doing the best that we can, and we're working with, if we got to shut down a kid for a few days because they were exposed, then so be it. And we're asking our kids to make good choices away from our facilities when they're with their friends, to be conscious of that. Anytime that you're going to meet in a gathering, you're taking a risk that you could shut our program down. And I think for the most part, our kids are doing the best that they can in that regard.
Yeah, I've seen those great posters up around some facilities around the state. Don't be the reason that you lose the season. Jim, everybody staying healthy so far at Wenatchee?
Yeah, we're pretty much doing all the same things that Cashmere and Eastmont are doing. Ron Brown with our tech department has developed an online adaptation that we all do. You guys will get the pleasure of doing it when you come to do our game Friday. I can say that our learning how to stream and webcast all of our games gives us a new appreciation for what you guys do on a regular basis, because that's probably what I've had more phone calls and text messages about, is just issues with some of that stuff, and trying to, the parents frustrated because it's not as clear, or they don't know who's who or whatever. But yeah, so we're doing the same things. And what we're doing is so before we went to Eastmont, all of our kids we get tested in terms of they'll come in with their check mark and get their temperature check and get everything done here before they get on the bus, just like Eastmont does when they come here. OMAC and Chelan did before they came down to the volleyball or the football jamboree. So we're each doing our own part before the game starts, and then we're emailing each other saying, yeah, all of our kids are good to go. The ones that are coming are cleared and good to go. So it's just part of the game now, and it's a never-changing game. That wait till tomorrow and there'll be something new that we have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with Jim Beeson, Russ Waterman, and Jeff Carlson, athletic directors for Wenatchee, Eastmont, and Cashmere. I wanted to address that too. We're doing what we can to help out with this, with the lack of fans and things like that. We're trying to roll out the cameras like we usually do. We're actually going to do swimming for the first time ever on Thursday with that meet at Eastmont's Aquatic Center. We're looking forward to that. Eastmont, Moses Lake, and Wenatchee for that one. We've got football, Moses Lake and Wenatchee from Lebofto Field on Friday night. And then we'll be at Russ's place on Saturday afternoon for some girls soccer, Eastmont and Moses Lake. We're doing what we can. I know that's a big question. You just alluded to it, Jim, as far as how can we see these games. We're going to try to do what we can, too, to feed NFHS, our feeds, when we go there, so they can know which numbers who and things like that. Another question I had, too, Jeff, as far as we used to have the great website that had all the information as far as scores and rosters and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, it's a change because we don't have the Big Nine. We don't have the CWAC site. We don't have the CTL. So how am I, as a sports guy, or how are fans going to keep track of what's happening as far as, who won last weekend?
Yeah, great question. So each of the schools in our region now have their own website. So CashmereBulldogs.com is where you want to go for schedules, rosters, scores, recaps of games. We've got all that information on there. In regards to league standings, that's still something we're trying to work out to put those onto our websites. The Caribou Trail League's kind of unique this year. In our region, we're still playing for a league championship. Being that we have a small league, only get 5 football games, well, 4 of them are going to be league games. So we're actually playing for a league title. But yeah, for all that information, we no longer have CTLathletics.com, but we do have CashmereBulldogs.com. And I know both Wenatchee and Eastmont also have websites with a lot of that information as well.
Russ, share the Eastmont page for folks that want to find that information out.
Yeah, for us, it's EastmontAthletics.com, and that'll also, on the title page on that, bring you to every Big Nine school has a LinkedIn page. So you'll be able to find Jim's page there and everything else. and if you follow the Wildcats on Facebook or Twitter, you're going to get a lot of in-game updates. We're rolling out a little bit of social media for in-game updates and wins and losses and stats and everything else like that. We're trying to add that to our repertoire to make this a special year and a shortened season. So follow those two sites, and you can stay up to speed. So I appreciate, Eric, what you guys are doing with NCW Life. I know that we're working on trying to get you that NFHS network code so you can broadcast on the website. But you're going to be live on ncwlife.com, right? You're going to be having that as a live broadcast for us. So people can go there. So there's a free option for them, and always on video on demand and delay for after the events. If people can't watch it live, we'll repeat those. And I can't thank you enough for doing what you're doing. That means a lot to us, and I'm glad we can make that partnership happen, both Wenatchee and the Cashmere and us.
Yeah, who would have thought, even just a year ago in the fall when we're doing sports and we're doing the schedule on NCW Life and things like that, that we'd be talking about, well, the only way to see it is with a camera somehow. I mean, that's just crazy. Okay, Jim, where do we go to find out the Wenatchee information?
WenatcheePanthers.com. We've all, unfortunately, we've made changes, and the changes I wouldn't say aren't necessarily for the best up to this point in time, but we're working, trying to make it better than, or as good as what we had. But at this point in time, we're still working on it and trying to figure out the best way to do everything. So, but again, I would echo what Russ has said, especially after this weekend. The job that you guys do and the professionalism that you guys have with the job that you're doing is much appreciated for. And I know I can guarantee our football people are going to be ecstatic the fact that you guys are doing the game on Friday night.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. And for those Cashmere fans out there, we'll be able to get a Cashmere game in. In fact, the Pear Bowl. I'm looking forward to that one, Jeff. I don't know about you.
Absolutely. The big one. Yep. Pear Bowl. Looking forward to it here in Cashmere.
Well, gentlemen, we'll keep up to date on what's happening throughout the year, throughout this first season one, if you will. And here's hoping the weather continues like this so we don't have to worry about field problems or anything else or shoveling snow anymore. We'll just knock on wood on that one. We appreciate your time. Thank you for all the work you do. I know it's yeoman duty that you're having to pull off, and let's continue to edge more close to normal, okay?
Yeah.
Outstanding. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.
You bet. Jeff Carlson, Russ Waterman, and Jim Beeson joining us here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE Channel.